Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're all feeling well. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you don't get ill. Allah will look after us, alhamdulillah. We are trapped in our home. We can't go out, nor we can meet friends. But one thing we can do is to increase our knowledge. And the knowledge is Holy Quran for us. Second source is Hadith. Look at the knowledge, look at the Quran. We all can read Quran in Arabic. Do you understand it? We need the translation. Once you get that translation, believe you me, you will realize Allah is talking to you. Allah is talking to you, telling you what to do, what not to do, and how to live. We can increase our knowledge just by reading Quran. Just by reading Quran, the language you'll understand. And that will progress, that will make you happy. Our speaker today is Muhammed Ibrahim. Muhammed Ibrahim has been with us since 1980s. He was trained to be a priest, then alhamdulillah, he became Muslim. He's a regular speaker, and not only speaker in Islamic Circle, but he is head of religious department in secondary school. He's a regular speaker, he talks about Islam, Hadith, and how Muslims should live, and how Muslims should understand Islam, like he understands himself. I hope you enjoy his talk. Assalamu alaikum.
May the peace of God be with you. My name is Muhammed Ibrahim. I have, over many years since the 1980s, delivered some lectures to the Islamic Circle at Regent's Park Mosque. I have also taught philosophy and ethics for many years, and therefore have a great love for the subject, not least because it has empowered me to be able to live my life better and to encourage those to do so around me and those of whom I've had acquaintance. I just want to start by saying that my intention will be to produce a number of short clips, and I want them to fall under the category of you choose. I, in my teaching career, have passionately believed, and I do strongly hold this, that you cannot ever compel someone to believe in something unless they choose to do so. Not least, that comes to the question of faith, a belief in whatever, may it be in materialism, a belief that the only world that exists is this physical, material world around us, or perhaps into believing things that are more abstract, like, for example, having a belief in God. To me, this is important because it is so easy, under duress, to compel someone into believing something. You'll find this in many families, for example, where a child is brought up within a certain environment with the best of intentions, probably at all times, and the child could ask a question: does God exist? And the parents can forcefully turn around and say, it is forbidden to ask such questions, and don't you ever ask them again. That child is silenced externally, but internally the seeds are set, whereby people may wish to challenge it. They may not at that time, but as the child grows and reaches further stages in life, the questions still remain because they have not been answered. Many people will make choices, and the choices they make are fundamentally, and applies to all of us, fundamentally selfish. I choose to believe because that is my choice. Hence the series of short talks, You Choose. At the end of the day, I know this is the case within all Abrahamic faiths, the faiths of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. all of them are monotheistic. Mono being one, theos being God. A belief in one God. It is a common misconception that Abraham, for example, the patriarch, the father of these religions, was Jewish, but he wasn't. Judaism didn't exist at that point. Neither did Christianity. Neither did Islam. He believed in one God. He believed firmly in monotheism. Now, of course, you will find many people who turn around and say that Abraham was Jewish. But that's something perhaps to explore on another occasion. Just likewise, one can question, well, he was a Muslim, just like Adam was, and of course, that is what Islam will teach and many Muslims will believe. But it goes back again for you to make the choice. You choose. That likewise can be explored on another occasion. Because in my experience, a lot of people, especially those from a materialist point of view, want to look at the evidence. Let's see the evidence. Let's look at Abraham. Look at the evidence about Abraham. Look at the evidence of Judaism. Look at Christianity. Christianity came after Judaism. Islam, in a sense, from a chronological point of view, came after Christianity. Now, I know, in my experience, many Christians will turn around and say, well, Christianity is a development from Judaism. But in Islam, Judaism is where Islam has gone astray. And Christianity, likewise, where Islam had gone astray. And what, from an Islamic point of view, the Quran does is to put the record straight. Revealing religion that goes back to that which was given to Adam at his creation. Now, of course, a materialist, or for perhaps simpler terms, an atheist might want to turn around and say, well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that to be true. Well, you choose. It is your choice. At the end of the day, again from the Abrahamic points of view, which is the point that I have been making, is that according to those faiths, we're brought into this world by God, we're created by God, and we will die. We will leave this world, and then we stand before our Creator, and we will be judged individually for the choices that we have made. Well, again, it's up to you whether you want to believe that or not. And I think that's an important reflection, because the responsibility for our behaviour in this life then falls upon us all individually. I say that because I remember on one occasion I was listening to an imam give a talk on a Friday sermon, and he said that it is wrong for people to study religious education at schools. He said that it's wrong to study philosophy. Now, I know there will be a lot of objections to perhaps religious education be taught in schools, but if it's taught in a right objective way, it is actually extremely beneficial. Also from an Islamic point of view. And then if I focus on the word philosophy, and this is the subject for my next short talk. Focus on the word philosophy, the roots of the word philo, which is Old Greek for friendship, your best friend. And sophos is the Old Greek for wisdom. So the study of philosophy is that wisdom should be your best friend. The ancient Greek philosopher, for example, Socrates, he said, and I think this is an important point to make, that it is the ignorant life that is not worth living. I want you to reflect upon that, because it's quite straightforward. We commit harm, either intentionally or unintentionally, because we are ignorant. How do you overcome ignorance? It's not just having knowledge, and that's something I'll explore. It's not just having knowledge, but it's having the wisdom on what you do with it. Because how do you know what is the truth? That is such a deep and important question. Because we often assume what is right. And because I've understood something and I believe something to be right, unconsciously or consciously, I assume that everybody must see and believe in the same way that I do. That causes discord. That causes division. That causes us to require empathy, to understand and to feel what it is like in somebody else's position. And it's when we start to learn to do that with humility and with virtue, we can then, despite our differences, as there are many, to walk this life together, supporting each other, hand in hand. That is why it is important that we learn to choose, and we choose wisely, because the study of philosophy is where the study of that wisdom has to become your best friend. I hope that the talks, the short presentations that follow this, can take one point at a time and unpack it in order to make it more accessible, not using complicated, although I will use appropriate terminology where it is appropriate, but to use terminology so we can understand. Because one of the gifts that I've learnt through my years of teaching is that the most complex, the most abstract, can sometimes be explained so simply. And I remember one 19-year-old person saying to me, whom I'd taught for 2 years, one of the values that I've learnt from the study of philosophy is I have found, or I have begun to find, answers to all of those thoughts and ideas that I couldn't give answers to, not least because I now have words to express myself. And for that I thank you. I would like to feel that I can share some of those experiences with you. Now, of course, it's up to you to choose. Thank you for listening, and may the peace of God be with you.